So when you're working from the quantum field, this is going to be something we touch on this afternoon when we touch on navigating life from your quantum field. The most important thing that you can get from quantum field navigation is noticing when you're doing something, the effect that what you're doing has on this quantum field. So far we've touched on dropping into the quantum field, how it feels when we pull it in, how it feels when we expand it out, moving from quantum field. When I'm using the laser on my body, what I'm noticing, I'm looking for when I feel the quantum field energy kind of come in and shut down, or when I feel it open up and expand. And so what I want you to notice when we do this is when you feel that change, that response. We call it still point response. Because that's the key to how we're going to use laser right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm putting Unwind on. Everyone go ahead and put Unwind on for a moment. And as I'm using Unwind, all I'm doing is I'm holding it over my hand for the moment. And I just want everyone to kind of tactily feel what effect does Unwind have on the quantum field, on your quantum field. For me, it definitely has a effect of like a breeze. It kind of feels like a nice. Anyone else feel that a little bit? It has that, which is of course why we named it Unwind. It feels like Unwind. So that's Unwind. Unwind is designed very simply to take things that are like this and to unwind them. Very simple. Let's try the next one. Let's try next one, quantum. What does quantum feel like? Quantum for me immediately feels kind of like it kind of opens, like still. It kind of feels like still point, like dropping into still point. It kind of opens things. So when we do, we'll take questions in a moment. When we do this, we're going to go through here and we're going to work on a couple of areas. As we do it, I want you to be tuning in to not just the perception of your body. I want you to notice the perception of your quantum field and what's happening with your quantum field as we're doing each of these different processes with the laser. Laser is a great tool. We're not going to do a ton of laser work here this week. We're going to do some. But it's a very powerful tool, particularly in between when you're working on dissolving, if you're cooking, if something's coming up. This is a little transformation tool. I usually refer to the laser as a medical device when we're in US and Canada. It's FDA approved, Health Canada approved, CE, Australia. And it is a medical device, yet to me it's almost more of a transformational tool for dealing with polarity, karma, and allowing things to dissolve and come back to neutrality. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up and I'm going to, from the quantum field, see, well, what do I want to work on right now? What? And I immediately, as I almost always do, the first thing I'm going to is the adrenal glands. We cover this Unwind protocol in a lot of our seminars and courses. And I just can't say enough about it. If you're, this is how simple it is. If your adrenals are on and running the show in life, they will contract your reference to the body and the thinking and the personality. That's what adrenaline does. It has a contracting influence. It shuts down the quantum field. And it kicks in emotions and thinking. Really important to understand that. It's important to understand that anatomy, because if you want to dissolve and hold, the reason the glands come into such play is because if you want to hold the state of the quantum field, it's essential to clear and shift the endocrine system, particularly here the adrenals. So I just turn to the other adrenal. And tune in. As you're doing this, tune in to the tactile sense of your quantum field. What's happening to it? Well, as I'm doing this over the adrenal, I feel my field kind of going like this. It's just kind of dissolving out some more. I'm just going to do the adrenals here. I'm not going to do, and I'm actually going to change. I'm going to move kind of a little fast. I just switched to quantum. And you can do the adrenals from the front, by the way. It's really nice to do the adrenals from the front, as well as by the back. Particularly for elderly folks. Next thing I'm going to do, I am going to do an unwind. I wasn't going to. I'm going to go to the sacrum right now, the tailbone, and I'm standing on unwind. If unwind doesn't feel, what you want to be noticing as you're doing this is when you feel your body go from here to here. When you feel that still point response and opening of the quantum field. I feel it, I'm on quantum. If you're not sure you feel it on quantum, try a different one. Try unity, try wave. It's a really good one to do right now, particularly if you're here and you got some blocks going on or you're not certain what's going on. Go right to the unwind protocol. Start. Unwind the adrenals, unwind the sacrum, unwind the occipital ridge. I changed to wave. I just switched to wave and it had a nice dissolving. Wave is the last one in the essentials. And all I'm looking for is when do I feel that shift from there to there. We're going to keep going because I want to get switch gears here. Now I'm going to come up and do the occipital ridge. Occipital ridge. Sorry, I'm moving kind of fast. I'm doing a bunch of different things. You don't be concerned with what I do. You see what feels good for you. And pick, in the essentials, pick any one. I usually do this one with unwind, or quantum, or wave, or unity. To me, this is exactly, when I use the laser, it's exactly like what I do when I welcome things. I go up to an area, and I say, hey, how you doing? And I find that program, whether it's unwind, quantum, pleo, vital, unity, wave, that where that area says, oh yeah. There's about a 4-inch band between the ears here. If none of those feel good, try activate. Activate's a really powerful program for when you're doing activation. Go figure. It has a very unifying and opening quality. So that's the occipital ridge, particularly good place. And then we're going to move to the sphenoid, which is probably the most important place to work on this week. The sphenoid moves inside the cranium. Hugely important because the pineal and pituitary glands rest on the sphenoid. The sphenoid to me is like a musical instrument, a very subtle, refined, and delicate instrument for connecting to the universe, the music of the spheres, and the energy beyond. If this area is tight, it's very hard to re-establish flexibility and really navigate perception. So this is really, really important. A lot of people go through constant right brain or left brain contraction, which has the deleterious effect of shutting down the acoustics of the sphenoid, which shuts down the pineal and pituitary glands. It's why when you sleep, your glands relax and they reorganize and harmonize everything. When you go into meditation and when you go into still point, when I go into still point, all I'm saying is anything that's contracting, polarizing this condition here and shutting down that natural scalar key has to slow down and dissolve. So this can start to vibrate again and start to release the flowering, the glands. Anyone else do an activate? Does that feel good? Isn't that nice? All right, so that's the sphenoid. Next place I'm going to work is the cranium. I'm just moving around the cranial plates. Just looking, is there anyone, key to this, go really slow. Is there anywhere here that feels like it wants to unwind? And as soon as I said that, I felt like going to the frontal lobe. This is a big part of what we're going to get into this week. The frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is the key, neutral, nonlinear part of the brain. Yogis, shamans have been referring to this for a while. When this right current in the body, there's one current that comes up the right side that goes to the left side of the brain. The left current comes up and goes to the right side of the brain. So people that tend to be always on right brain, they have this current going strong. People that are always in left side of the brain, they have this current going strong. Our goal here is to balance out both sides of the brain because then the frontal lobe opens. When the frontal lobe opens, it activates the white matter in the brain, activates all the good stuff, that subtle nectar we've been referring to. Isn't that nice? All right, now I'm just going to scan around the body. I'm just scanning around, same way we did earlier. In fact, I'm going to change. Now I'm just going around, back on unwind. I'm just looking around. Anywhere in the body that wants to unwind. Just like we do with perception, exact same process. And I'm going to go. Sure enough, I go right over here to the liver. I didn't decide to go here. I went with the quantum field. I said, oh, quantum field, where are we going here? And it just, if you go slow, let me explain this. This is so key. In the same way that when we were walking around and I said, everyone slow down, and then did anyone notice when we did that, suddenly you got an impulse to kind of move a certain direction? Almost as though the energy kind of started to move you. But when I'm working with the laser on me or someone else, I do the same thing. I go really slow, and I say, where are we going? I didn't say I was going to the liver. My arm, the energy of the quantum field, directed the laser here to the liver. Everybody try that. Everyone start out here for a moment. And now, open your quantum field, and from the quantum field, move the laser, go real slow, and see where is the laser going? Go slow. And when you get there, you can tell you're in the right place because usually it feels really good. I directed towards the liver, and then it moved to the gallbladder, and as soon as I got there, I was like, oh, geez, that feels great. Particularly this week, we're doing a lot of cleansing. If you're eating good fruits and papaya and smoothies, do some work, some cleansing. We'll do another session at some point where we do some detox with the laser inside and here. Real simple. The colon is around here. Got all the components of the intestines, stomach, the gallbladder. We often go around and I share processes that are, they're not linear, but they're structured. A lot of the work that I do, I go into the quantum field and I freeform it. Well, okay, we start over here. Oh, we're here, oh, we're going to do this now. Get comfortable letting the quantum field guide that process for you. And all I'm on is unwind. Anyone else do an unwind? Not feel good? Anyone else feeling good? Good. All right, that's